Autoblogs are blogs that run on autopilot. They're basically self-populating blogs and a rapid way of setting up a network of site. They're really useful for you to use for short-term income. Now, Autoblogs are very powerful. They're very easy to set up, and if you do them right, you can roll out an Autoblog in 5 to 10 minutes. You know, in an hour you could set up 5 or 6 sites easily, perhaps even more, depending on how quick you are with them. So you can really do some very good things with Autoblogs. You do have to be aware that some search engines will consider Autoblogs to be spam, but set up properly, and as we're going to talk about in this program, you'll be able to create a network of Autoblogs that will last and run well for you. As long as you've got the right tools, an Autoblog is easy to do. Without the right tools, you're going to struggle to make money with Autoblogs. I mean, you can set them up and you can get them going, but you really want to have the right tools. And what we're going to do in this video training program is show you the right tools that you need to set up your Autoblog. Now, typically an Autoblog is based on WordPress. Now obviously it's free to use, which is one of the big reasons to use it. It's good for SEO. It comes with lots of different plugins. It's very easy to use, and it's basically perfectly designed for Autoblogs. Now there are other blogging platforms out there that you could use if you wanted to, but they don't have the same functionality that WordPress does. WordPress is really advantageous. And if you have Fantastico, then you can install it with a couple of clicks. Same with Simple Scripts if your web host has that. So WordPress is the platform of choice here. Now the whole aim of the game is that once you set the sites up, they run without your manual input. You don't have to do anything with the sites except set them up and let them going. Once they get going, then you're fine, and your site will run, and it will basically climb up the search engines and run itself pretty much on autopilot. It's a very powerful method of earning money, and it's a good way of setting up a good passive income stream. So they're a good additional stream of income, another way for you to earn money. You know, you may have membership sites, other AdSense sites, and so on, but Autoblogs are a really good way for you to get going and make money. So what are we going to talk about in this program? We're going to start by talking about exactly what Autoblogs are. We've had a brief introduction to them, but we're going to go into more detail about what they are and how to use them. We're going to talk about why they're profitable and why they can provide you with an excellent stream of income. They're very powerful, very good, so we just want to talk about those. We're going to talk about what to watch out for when you are creating Autoblogs as well. Now there's a number of pitfalls, a number of possible problems. So what we want to do is we want to talk about those and make you aware of the potential issues that you are facing with Autoblogs and how you can get round them and create successful Autoblogs that sit there and earn money for you and aren't delisted or deleted or otherwise removed. I'm going to show you how to install and configure an Autoblog. Now obviously that's not something that perhaps you know how to do, so we're going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to demonstrate some autoblogging software, so I'm going to show you some of the plugins you can use for WordPress and how they can help you to set up a really good looking and powerful Autoblog, and ultimately that's what you're after achieving. We're also going to show you a couple of special plugins. These are particularly good plugins and they can be used to help you monetize your blog, so they're very powerful, very good. So I'm kind of quite excited to show you those. We're also going to show you some tips for succeeding with Autoblogs. Now obviously, as I said, you can set up an Autoblog, anyone can set them up, but to do well with them you need some insider information. I mean, you can work it out through trial and failure if you want. That's your prerogative, but in order to really learn how to succeed with Autoblogs, you can learn from someone who's been there and done it and made those mistakes. So you can speed up your learning curve by listening to these tips and implementing them on your websites. And of course there's going to be much more. Now an Autoblog network can make you an awful lot of money. It will run on autopilot, so there's nothing for you to do with it. And of course you can have options, down the line. Once they're making money, you can always sell them on or anything like that. So there's lots and lots of different choices you can make here with the auto blogs for how you earn from it. Now you can earn from affiliate commissions, you can earn from AdSense commissions, you can earn from any other type of advertising you want. So we're going to go into a lot more detail now. So I want to start going into more detail about what an auto blog is and how they work. So we're going to talk about that in the next video. So let's go into a bit more detail about what auto blogging actually is. Well, auto blogging is about creating a network of self-populating websites. They are websites which automatically add content, generate traffic, rank well, and earn for you. The whole auto bit stands for automatic. It's all about setting everything up on autopilot so it's automatically working for you. So you can see instantly it's a very powerful stream of income. If you can set one of these sites up in between 5 and 15 minutes, and get it running, then obviously you can create a vast number of these sites very, very quickly. And of course, they can make you a good amount of money. If you pick the right keywords and they rank really well, then you can do very, very well with Autoblog. So the aim of the game, they are all completely self-populating, running on autopilot with no manual intervention by yourself. The idea is that you're not turning up every week to add new content or change the advertising banners or anything like that at all. The whole point of auto blogging is that you are setting them up so that you never have to come back and touch them again. You're not fussed about upgrading plugins unless there's a major problem with them. You're not fussed about upgrading WordPress or anything like that. You just want them to stay there and run and earn money for you. So what you do is, using the plugins and the tools that we'll talk about throughout this video course, you can set them up so that they automatically add content at intervals specified by yourself. So you can set it to add just a couple of pieces a day or 10 pieces a day or whatever it might be. But you do need to be aware that you've got to think naturally when you do this. You've got to think about how would a normal website add new content in the real world, if you like. If it was a real blog and not an auto blog, how regularly and how often would content be added? So you do need to consider that. So what I recommend is that you add no more than a few pieces of content a day, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 at a push. If you can, you want to do it at random times. So you may say, well, I'll do it every 5.5 hours. I'll add a piece of content every 7.5 hours, every 10 hours. You may say, well, I will add new content 3 times a day, whatever it might be. Depends on the plugin you're using as to how you can specify the intervals. And then all you need to do is do some simple traffic generation with them. It shouldn't take too long to do, simply because they're very, very highly targeted websites, so they'll rank fairly well naturally by themselves. So a bit of social bookmarking, a couple of articles, etc, etc, and you should be ranking very, very well. So basically, auto blogging is a quick way of creating a huge network of sites. So if you think about it, and I can, say it takes me 10 minutes to create an auto blog. That means I can create 6 an hour, doesn't it? So if I work 8 hours a day, 8 6s, what's that? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. I can create 48 sites a day. So in a week, times that by 5, you're talking 240 sites in a week. So you can create an awful lot of sites with these. So even if each one just earns even 50 cents a day for you, on average, you're still talking in a week you've created a daily income of $120 a day. So there's a lot of potential with these sites. And of course, once you set up the auto blogs, if you find some that are doing really, really well, there's nothing to stop you turning it into a proper authority site and expanding upon it, or generating more sites within that niche. So the key is to do your keyword research and then make sure you're ranking very, very quickly. If you've got good keywords and you've targeted them properly, then your auto blog will rank surprisingly quickly. So what can you do with these sites? Well, one of the things you can do is you can build the sites to flip. You can set it up as an auto blog, run it for a few months, get it ranking, get it earning, and then you can sell it for 6 to 10 times the earnings. So you can do very, very well. You can turn it from an auto blog into a normal blog, then disable all the auto blogging functions, and leave it running and sell it. If you are selling an Autoblog, you do have to make sure that what the permissions you have on any plugins you're using. If you bought any plugins, you may not be able to sell those with the website. You may have to remove them first, or insist that the buyer purchase a license. Now obviously this is a good choice, as you can create the sites and keep them, and you can earn from them regularly. So if you've built your network of 1,000 sites, you can earn from them for as long as you want to, as long as they're ranking and doing well. Or another alternative is, if you remember, how do you cook spaghetti? You cook it and then you throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. And that's one of the analogies we can use here. You basically create hundreds and hundreds of sites, throw it against the wall, see which sticks. You find the ones that are profitable and doing well, and expand into those niches. You may create other sites within those niches, other authority sites. You may create products within those niches and whatever. But it's a good way for you to test out a number of niches very quickly and determine which are going to be profitable. So it doesn't matter whether you're a novice or advanced marketer or anywhere in between. It doesn't matter if you're just setting out on your adventure into internet marketing. You can still use Autoblogs. Autoblogs don't require any particular skill. It just requires patience and the ability to do some keyword research and set the sites up. So it's not too difficult to use. Now WordPress is our platform of choice, and it's completely free. I would not recommend doing a manual install because it takes far too much time. I would make sure that your web host has either Simple Scripts or Fantastico, and that you install it from there, simply because it's a lot quicker. Now if you're doing it manually, it could take you quite a while. Do it through Fantastico, it will take you 60 seconds if you type slowly. So it's not going to take you a lot of time to do. So WordPress is the platform of choice because there's so many options available with it. Now we are going to talk about some plugins in this course that are going to cost you some money, but ultimately, at the end of the day, and trust me, I've done some research here, they are absolutely the best plugins for Autoblogs, and they will make sure that you make decent money from them. You can use some of the free plugins, but they do not give you the flexibility and the functionality that the paid plugins do. The paid plugins will really help you to create fantastically profitable sites very easily. So Autoblogs are an easy way to create a network of profitable sites. You can create 50, 100 sites a week, maybe more. So you can see very quickly you can build up a massive amount of Autoblogs. And these can earn well for you. You could build up a network of Autoblogs in a particular sites, and you can use them to promote your real money sites. You could do that. You could use them as a way to get incoming links through to your sites, a way to really boost your network, other websites. So it's a fantastic level of opportunity here with Autoblogs. They're really powerful tools for you to use, and ultimately you're only limited in what you can do with them with your imagination and the amount of time you're willing to spend messing around with them. So you now know what Autoblogs are. You know roughly what they're going to do. You know what you could do with the Autoblogs, and now we want to go into a bit more detail about the Autoblogs themselves and what to look out for with them and how to start setting them up. Now Autoblogs in the past have got a bit of a bad reputation because they are used in many cases by spammers. What I want to do is just show you some of the possible issues with them and how you can overcome them. Now you do have to be careful with your Autoblogs that they aren't classified as spam sites. If you leave footprints, if you make all the sites identical, you use the same template, and they're all just full of useless information, then they aren't going to do well in the search engines. Sooner or later the search engines will work out that you've created a load of spam sites, and it will delist them all. And if that happens and it's your only source of income, basically you're screwed. You've lost everything. And Don't think it won't happen. It has happened. Go and search any of the internet marketing forums and you'll hear all sorts of horror stories about how this sort of thing happens. I mean, several years ago there was what is famously known as the Google slap happened. This was, if you remember, it was about 3 or 4 years ago. If you searched for anything in Google, all you got was rubbish sites full of adverts and links to other sites. There was no useful information. Google was basically pointless. You know, you couldn't find anything good in it. And then one morning, internet marketers woke up and found that their network of these, you know, rapidly created sites that had been flung up onto the internet had disappeared. And people literally, and this is 100% serious, people went from, you know, $100,000 a month or, you know, $10,000 a month incomes to zero overnight. Their businesses were destroyed because they're just focused on creating these, you know, mass generated sites, use scrape content, and their businesses were ruined. So whilst Autoblogs are good, take steps to make sure they don't get classified as spam sites, and also create other sites as well so that it's not your only stream of income. It's never a good idea in business to have all your eggs in one basket. So you need to take some steps to ensure that they're not classified as spam sites, and that's what this video is about. So when you're creating your site, if you think about your end user, think about their needs, and you create a site that basically gives them some useful information, you're going to do okay. You want to avoid being classified as a spam site because you could get your site delisted from the search engines. If that happens, then you would have to rework the website, put lots of unique content on it, and go crawling to the search engine gurus, the people that run them, and beg them to let your site go back in and that you've changed your ways. It might be a bit of a struggle, but they've got no need to let you back in. They can turn around and go, no, not interested, and not let you in at all. Or the absolute worst case scenario, and this is one that you've got to hope doesn't happen, is you get blacklisted. And basically when this happens, it means that your domain has become useless and you may as well let it expire. There's no point in having a domain. It's not going to do well, it's never going to get ranked again, and basically the search engines will just ignore anything linking to that domain. So you want to really avoid that fate. So what you have to do is ensure that Autoblogs still provide valuable information. So I know that these are going to be scrape sites and going to be taking content from other sites and rapidly created, but you still have to think about providing valuable information. If you can do that, then obviously that's going to help you a lot. What you need to do is you need to mix up a combination of unique content, PLR content, and content scraped from sites like Amazon, article directories, Yahoo Answers, etc., etc. So you need to mix them all up really to get the best content. Making sure that you've got some unique content on there obviously takes you a step away from the spam site and will help the search engines to realize your site's valuable. My personal preference is to always make sure the homepage is unique at the very least, and that way, you know, people are going to see that it's unique content. The search engines will see that it's unique content, and hopefully, you know, there's not going to be any issues with the site. So if you want to avoid being classed as spam, you need to make sure you don't leave a footprint on all of your sites. Now, a footprint is something that is common to all of your sites, something that makes it very easy for someone to identify the fact that your site is an auto-generated site. So, you know, in the old days, you'd have software that would create a site and it would say at the top in the meta tag, created by this auto creation spamming software, which of course is dead giveaway. So you need to make sure that you don't leave a footprint, and part of what we're going to talk about now is how not to leave any footprints. So by using some unique content, you are avoiding footprints, because of course one of the footprints of a spam site is that it doesn't have any unique content. So just having a little bit of that on your site, that instantly takes you a big step away from spam sites. So a good bit of unique content will help you. One thing you can use is a uniquifier plugin. Often you have to buy these, and basically these are plugins that fool the search engines into believing that the content on your website is unique. The downside of these is, of course, that the search engine owners are well aware of them, and of course are constantly buying the new versions of the uniquifier plugins themselves, messing around with them, and then making sure that their search engines go past them. So you have to continually update uniquifier plugins. You know, you're talking sort of at least once a week. And if you've got 1,000 sites, that's quite a lot of work to update them. So a Unifier plugin quickly becomes out of date. It can be useful, but only if it's going to be automatically updated. But again, you can get around that by using some unique content as well. So if you make sure that every page, every website has a unique meta tags, keywords and title, now you're going to have to use an all-in-one SEO plugin or Platinum SEO plugin for this, but you make sure that you have a unique set of meta tags and keywords, then again that's going to help, because a lot of spam sites, they just use the same title on every page, the same meta tags and the same meta keywords. So again, that's going to help you remove yourself from being a spam site. You also need to vary the templates and layouts. A lot of people that create spam sites just use the default WordPress template. So every site, have different layouts, different templates and so on. Again, you don't want to spend too long on them because these are rapidly created sites, but vary the different templates. Another thing that you can do is don't host too many Autoblogs on a single hosting account. If you look at sort of 7 to 10, maybe slightly more at the tops, then again, that's not going to give the game away. If Google comes along and they sort of look at your IP address and they see that there's 800 Autoblogs on that one IP address, and the 800 blogs on that one IP address, and they all look very similar, that's going to give away a little about the whole it's an Autoblog. So you can create multiple hosting accounts, just the one cheap ones, and create a number of Autoblogs on there. You can of course use the same hosting to create a number of your other websites as well. And you want to switch hosting and IP addresses, so you have different hosts. You can buy IP addresses for a couple of dollars a month from a lot of places, so you can use different IP addresses, and that's really going to help you to vary the way your sites look. Do sort of up to about 10 per IP address, and again, your sites are going to look different. They're not going to look like they are spam sites. So these are some techniques for avoiding being classed as spam. Now later on, towards the end of this video series, we're going to talk about how some tips for success with Autoblogs, but I want you to take this into account, what we just talked about, as we go through creating the Autoblogs and you start creating yours. Avoid leaving a footprint. Don't just use scrape content, use some unique content, use unique meta tags and keywords, vary the templates, and don't host too many Autoblogs on a single IP address or hosting account. And all that is going to help you to step away from spam, and it's going to mean that your site isn't going to run the risk of being classed as spam, and it will have a much longer life. Remember, you don't want to create an Autoblog, get it earning, and then sort of a week later find that it's being delisted. You want to build these up so that they have a reasonably long shelf life. And obviously that's going to be much better for you and for your income. So you may want to write some of these techniques down that we just talked about, these tips, but keep them in mind when you're creating the sites. They're very important, and they're going to make sure that your Autoblogs do much better than perhaps Autoblogs created by other people. Yes, it may take you a few minutes longer to do these, but you're going to have the benefit of longer living sites, and that's ultimately going to create you a much better income. What I'd like to do first of all is show you how you install and configure WordPress. Now if you've got Fantastico, it will look like this. Some web hosts now have something called Simple Script, but again, it's a very simple process. We're looking down here and we go to Fantastico Deluxe and we install it. It's very simple to do. You don't need any particular technical skills or anything else in order to be able to do this. So you can see here we have installation already, and you can see if you want to upgrade to the latest version, you just click that button. But we're going to do a new installation, so we click on WordPress here. Then we click here. It's not entirely obvious, but you can click here on new installation and install a new one. So I'm going to install in the subdirectory of test. I'll have a normal, just call it admin, a simple password. Then you can set your nickname, admin nickname, so it can be anything you want. This is email address. then you put your site name in here. It doesn't matter too much what you put here, as you can change these later on, but those are what you put in. Then you click install WordPress, you click finish installation, and then it's done. That's it. That's all you need to do, and you've installed WordPress. So now if I open this window here, if I open that in a new tab, you can see here it's all installed. So we just type in our ID and password, and that way we can log in to WordPress. Okay, so this is an installed version of WordPress. Over here you've got your control panels, and here you can see what you have on your dashboard. So simple configuration. It's very, very quick and easy. You start with posts. You trash the original post. You don't need that on there. Get rid of that. Now you go to categories as well. You're going to change the name of this. Just click quick edit and change it to something relevant to your keyword, to your niche. You may want to create additional categories. These aren't necessary, but some people find, particularly if you're targeting multiple keywords, it's worth having more than one category based on each keyword. Now I'd go into links as well. Click there and then delete all of the links that are there. You also want to edit the link categories as well. Again, change it from blog roll to something like resources or something simple. So you just put in resources, and then the same down here as well, resources in lowercase. You may want to create more than one category depending again how many links you're planning on having, but I would always recommend a link to whatever you're promoting, and possibly one or two other ones to authority sites in the niche. Then under pages, edit this and change it to something relevant again to your niche. This is the about you page. You can change the title. You can change all of this as well. So that's all we need to do here. We don't need to do anything under comments, but if we go to appearance now, this is where you install your theme, add new theme here, and you can search for new themes, install them, and so on. So you can upload ones, you can search for ones here, or you can just go to Google and do a search there. You can use the widgets to add widgets onto it. Again, it depends on how you're laying your site at as to what you use here. Plugins we'll look at in a minute. Users we can ignore. Same with tools. We don't need to worry too much about that at the moment. Now, under settings, you got some changes that you need to make here. Again, this is where you change your site name and tagline. You can let anyone register and just save the changes when you've done it. If we next go to writing, under writing again you can change all these. I'd recommend ignoring those. I'd also recommend just deleting out this information here just to be on the safe side. If you want to put any update services in there, feel free to do so. All that it does is it will ping them when there's a new post. Then we go to reading. Okay, again I'd make a few changes here. I would pick it to show a static page on the front page. I want control over what they see. The only page I've created at the moment is about, so I would create just a single page. I'd set this as my home page so that people come there and they see a good amount of information when they get there. Otherwise, they're going to see the latest post and it may not be what you want them to see. Blog pages show at most. I always set that to 1. That way it looks more like a website, less like a blog. Then we save changes. Okay, now under discussion over here, our next settings. Again, most of these you can leave as they are. The only one I'd change is this one. Always check this box, and it just means that you're not going to get any spam comments at all. And then save the changes down the bottom here. If you don't do that, then people can get comments through. What some spammers do is they'll make 1 or 2 reasonable comments, and then when they realise they're allowed to make any comments and they don't need to be approved, they'll start spamming. The The next one we need to go to is permalinks. Okay, now on the permalinks side, this is how your website looks in the search engines. This is the default up here, but your domainname.com / category / and then the post ID. That makes no sense at all. It's terrible for SEO. Now what people may want to do is, I recommend that you always change it. Now the easiest way to do this is to do it like that, okay, and do it to the post name. You can put the category in as well. If you're using categories and your category is keyword related, you could put %category % in here as well. I tend to do quite small sites myself, so just the post name is enough, and then you save the changes, and that's all the settings you need to do. It's not complex, it's not difficult, and as you can see, it takes just a couple of minutes to do. It's really simple. Now we want to talk about some of the plugins that you're likely to use. These are the more common ones that you're going to install on pretty much every blog you do. Now back to your site, under plugins, you can see it comes installed with 2. You can delete Hello Dolly, you just click delete, it'll come up, yes, delete them all, and then it's gone. That's not a plugin that you really want, it doesn't do anything useful, it's just there. Now here is Akismet. This is one that you do want. You want to activate it and switch it on. It basically stops spam comments. It's very good. All you need to do is click here to enter your WordPress API key, and if you haven't got one, just click here and you can sign up for one. It's absolutely free. I'd recommend that you check that box too. So what we want to do now is add new. So under here we're going to add some of the plugins. So one of the first ones we want to add is all-in-one SEO. That's all you need to add. You search, there it is, we click install, I'll click install again and activate it. Now this is a very useful one. Again, let's go to the admin page. It basically is going to help your website become more SEO friendly by managing the title, description and keywords. So enable it and then put a title, description and keyword for your main page in. The rest of it you can leave as is, you don't need to mess with those. And then update options. Then when you go to posts and add new, if we scroll down we will see that there's the all-in-one SEO pack is here. So here you can put a title, description and keywords specifically for that page, and that's going to help you significantly with your SEO. So if we go back to add new, you'll want, if we type all-in-one, shut up! So what we're looking for here is we want to type in all-in-one AdSense. This is basically a good plugin for managing your AdSense adverts. All-in-one AdSense and YPNs are what we're looking for. And we just install and install again. And what this will do is this will automatically put AdSense or YPN, Yahoo Publishing Network adverts into your posts. So it's a fantastic way of monetizing your blog automatically. So under here, AdSense, settings, AdSense, and here we have it. Make sure you put your AdSense ID in here. Just put the numbers only. Select the type of advert you want, text, image or whatever. The sizes you want. Here you can blend it in with your site. How many ads to show per page. So remember, you can only show a maximum of 3. So if you've got them elsewhere, like in your sidebar, you may want to lose that down. How many you want to place in the post, and where do you want to put it in the post. So there's plenty of options there on that. So this is a very useful plugin, and it will automatically add AdSense in wherever you want. So fantastic tool to use. Next one we want is we want one called, if we type in WP backup, This is very important. This one here is the one we're after. Install again. And basically what this will do, if we activate this, is it will back up your WordPress database for you. So under Tools, you can see we have a backup option. And what I would recommend is you go to Gmail, you set yourself up a new account, and then you set the schedule backup, and then send it to a Gmail account somewhere. So set them all to go to a Gmail account and back up any of the extra tables here. And what this will do is this will make sure that, yeah, if something happens and a web host goes down or something, you haven't lost everything. You've got all of your database, so you can just restore the WordPress, restore the plugins that you've installed, the theme, and then you've got your database back with all your posts, so you haven't lost everything. So that's very, very important. And the final one that I recommend to use is Google XML sitemaps. There's plenty of others that you could use. There's translation and all sorts that you could use if you wanted to, but it depends on what you're aiming for with your Autoblog. One of the translation tools would be very useful if you're aiming for an international market, but Google XML sitemaps is particularly useful because what it does is, you can see here, it creates an XML sitemap and then it will submit it to Google, Bing, Yahoo and Ask. So basically it's going to get your website crawled, and it's going to also notify the major search engines every time you create a post. So you just install, and then we just activate the plugin. Once it's activated, as you can see there, we go to settings and we go to XML sitemap, and basically this is a good plugin to have. You can notify Yahoo if you're going to apply for an application ID. I wouldn't mess with anything else particularly here. One thing you can change is you can change some of these if you want to, but personally I'd pretty much leave all of them as is. So again, I'd leave that as it is. These are obviously well thought out, and you can see there's nothing else that massively needs changing. So you can see that what this will do is it will automatically submit the XML sitemap to these search engines for you. So it's a great way to get the search engines to your site and notify them of updates. So it's very, very useful. You can click here to build it the first time. I would recommend doing this after you made a couple of posts if it hasn't already built one. Some web hosts will have a problem with this, and you just got to manually create the files and upload them and change the permissions. But those are the plugins that you want to use. There's plenty of others that you could use. You know, as I said, there's translation software, there's all tool plugins to make everything look pretty. You can integrate with Twitter, YouTube, etc., etc. But you know, you will find which plugins you want to use and which ones you don't, and it may depend upon the niches, but those are some that are basically standard that you'll need. So what I wanted to show you very quickly is about posts. Now, if we go to posts and add new, WordPress does have a feature that allows you to schedule future posts. So it's almost like auto blogging within WordPress. It's a very basic form of it. So it's a very good way of using it. If you're going to use this, then you need to go and download a plugin called CB Ping Optimizer. Let me just write that in there. CB Ping Optimizer. Now this is good because what it does is it helps make the whole ping process a little bit better. So it'll help with what we're going to show you. So under Publish Immediately, if you click Edit, you can see here you can change the date and time. So what you can do is you can load up content for the next sort of 2-3 weeks with this. So you can upload like PLR articles and other things like that. Articles you've written, content from other sites, and upload it and just change the date and time on it. It's a manual way of doing it. It is time consuming, but it will work for you. So if I put 15 in there, you can see now it's saying it's scheduled to go at this time. You click schedule instead of publish. So that's a very, very basic form of auto blogging. What we're going to show you next is some more powerful tools that will really, really help you to take the Autoblogging to the next level and make some good money from it. What I want to show you now is a plugin called WP Robot. Now, WP Robot isn't a free plugin. It's one that you have to pay for. This is their website, wprobot.net. The reason we like this is it's very, very powerful. You can post Amazon, eBay, ClickBank, YouTube, Yahoo Answers, etc., etc. And you can monetize these. Now, the first two you can monetize with your affiliate links, and these, of course, you can insert into AdSense or other adverts into. So very, very useful. But it can also do some rewriting of the posts as well. It could do tagging, custom post intervals, add some comments, and cloak links. It's not the cheapest piece of software. I will warn you that right now. It really isn't. However, it is very, very powerful. So again, which one you decide to go for will depend upon your needs. But you can see the full package is $170. I know it's not cheap, but as I said, it's very, very powerful. And if you're serious about making auto blogs, then this is some software that you are going to need. So what we need to do first of all is we go to the options here within WP Robot, and you can see here you've got general options, post everything to published, randomize the time of the first post, randomize post times. You'd want to do that. You'd want to cloak affiliate links. Yes, you want to create tags, so it will pull the tags automatically from the posts. Now here you can have you put your Amazon options, your affiliate ID, the API key. You get these from Amazon. It'll tell you how there. So you can choose as well. If there's no description, you can skip the product. So that's quite useful. Do you want how much of a description? Put the full description on. Do you want a particular Amazon site? Post reviews as comments. Now that's very useful. And here you can sort of template, put a template in as to how you want the post to look. So very, very powerful. Again, articles, you can choose to pull articles. You can leave the formatting intact, or you can replace it, pick a language, and so on. And again, ClickBank, you can pull things from ClickBank. These are all based on keywords. eBay, again, Yahoo Answers, you can pull things from Yahoo Answers. So that's very good. You can pull videos from YouTube. You can Flickr pictures. You can buy modules to pull Yahoo News and RSS, or you can translate. I don't recommend using any of the translation options, simply because you can get a plugin that will do a much, much better job and integrate nicer with your website. So those are all the options available to you. So you can see you can post quite a lot here. If you go to probabilities, you can set the probability of what you want posting. So you can say, right, well, I'm mainly going to be working on Amazon products, so I want 80% Amazon, I want 5% articles, 5% ClickBank, 5% Yahoo Answers. I don't want any eBay, and I want 5% that. And what it will do is it will randomize it. So say 80% of the time you'll have Amazon, and then 5% you'll have the others. So it's up to you. This is useful for you because you can, basically what you're doing is you're randomizing your blog. So if your particular site has lots of Amazon products, you may go for that. If there's nothing on ClickBank, you probably won't go for ClickBank at all. But if there's nothing on Amazon, you may take Amazon off. So it's up to you. Just make sure it all adds up to 100, and you'll be fine. So you can pick which one of these you want to, how often you want things to post. So that's very, very good for customizing it and really, making it look good and making it unique. So this is one way of avoiding a footprint. Is because what you can do is you can randomize the type of content on there. You may have no YouTube on one, you may have Yahoo Answers on another, or vice versa. You got bulk ad is an option down here. This is basically you can add a large number of keywords. and pick which modules it's come from. You can see here that this is the format here for what you need to do. So you put your keyword, semicolon, the category, semicolon, how many hours or days, and then whether it's hours or days. So you can do that. Alternatively, if we just go to the main options here, we can put in keywords one at a time. So I could put in a keyword could be squirrel. You pick your category, post every 7 hours, what to post, any of those. You can search for particular categories in any of these, and then you add keyword, and then it will start posting to your blog for you automatically. Now this here is very, very useful. It's not the easiest thing to use. You need to go here to find the browse node. It's a little bit difficult. You've got to find the right department. It's not always clear. But the benefit of this particular part is that if I'm set up a site about, let's look at our Amazon categories, for example. If I've set up a site about jewellery, for example, or a subcategory of jewellery, I can create my page automatically, and what it will do is it will pull all the content from that category and put it into my blog. So I could pick my jewellery from here, and I can get the browse node ID from within that. So it maybe say it's engagement rings, and what it will do is it will just go through the whole engagement ring category and slowly but surely post it to my blog. Now this is a really, really good way of pulling content into your blogs, and I'm going to be honest, it's very, very powerful. It's I know it's an expensive tool, but it's one that's extremely effective when it comes to making money with Autoblogs. It's very, very powerful, very effective, and you can see you've got lots of options here of what you can post, and you can monetize, as I said, Amazon with your affiliate link, articles with AdSense, ClickBank. You can monetize it with obviously ClickBank ID, eBay, your eBay affiliate ID, and the rest all with Amazon with AdSense or YPN or any of the other types of posts. So very, very, very powerful. If you're really, really serious about setting up an Autoblog, then this is a tool that you really, really need. But what I'm going to do in the next video is show you another tool that's a little bit different. It's cheaper, it's not quite as fully featured, but it does some of this, and it's going to help you to create a Autoblog, particularly if you're aiming to create one and monetize it with AdSense. So I want to show you that next, but this is very, very useful and very powerful. It's called WP Robot, and the website's wprobot.net. The next plugin I want to show you is one called Caffeinated Content. It's another good plugin for automating your blog. Basically, this is under settings, caffeinated content, and you can see you put your registration email and key in, which you'll get when you buy it. You can put this in if you want to. I don't tend to have the external links. A Yahoo developer IP ID, you can put that in or not, and then if you want it in debug mode, just all you need to do is fill in those two forms there, and you're sorted, and then click go. Now what this is going to do for you is Caffeinated Content is very, very clever in where it pulls its information from. So let's go through here to Caffeinated Content Management, and I'll show you. Okay, now this is the clever part of it. Under posts you have Caffeinated Content Management. Now what you can do is you can put your list of keywords in here. Having used this sentence here from him is actually right. It does seem better. If you just put one keyword in at a time, it seems to work much, much better. So you can pick your content. You can either upload some text files, you can use articles, some article directories, YouTube's, or Yahoo Answers. I tend to use a combination. I'll use this 3 or 4 times. So I'll do one for Yahoo Answers to start with. So let's say my keyword is, let's just say it's fatigue. You pick a post. So computed means it will create its own categories, or you can specify categories. How many tags do you want generated automatically? I want 5, because remember I'm going to integrate this with Twitter to get comments, so yeah, that's going to be good. How many questions? Any number here. Now, how many questions do you want to add? Well, again, that's up to you. You can add as many as you want. So we'll just leave it at 50. You can have the answers included as comments. You can take that off if you're going to integrate it with Twitter, or you might decide to have it on so that it makes your blog look like there's more comments. Clean bad words. Now, there is a bad words text file which you can use, and it'll clean off those words that you don't want. Auto approve your posts, you want that. Auto approve comments. You don't want to be commenting all the posts and everything else. So here's another option. You can get links if you there's a links text file that comes with this that you can edit, and if you put these links in here, what this will do is it will make the comment author's name a link to a site that you want. It's a good way to get links, but it's not very targeted, because obviously the comment author's name isn't the keyword, but you can still get some links from it, so that's something to consider. Now this is where you can put start and end date. So you know, I might put, so let's put this at 150. Let's put this as 100. Okay, a start date would be January the 1st, 2000 and 10. And let's put our finish date as May the 1st, 2010. And what that will do is it will spread these 100 questions over that time, so it'll randomize them through there. There's various templates you can use. What the templates do is they will rewrite the content for you. So you can use any of these. You can use random one or just a default one. What you can do with the templates is you can change how your post looks, where everything is posted, and so on. So you know, you can put AdSense ads in with it and things like that. But if you're using the all-in-one AdSense, you don't need to. So the default plugin is often suitable, and same with the comment. Markov does some rewriting of it, so you could use a Markov template, and what that will do is that will rewrite the content to some degree. And that's literally all you do, and then you click go, and off it will go. Now you can see here I've requested 150, and it's going to sit there for some time and sit and work. So there you are, it tells me it's done it now. 100 new posts, 358 new comments. So if I visit my site, we should be able to see some of the answers in here now. Right, okay, so here you can see the categories. I set the page, so you can see very, very different ones. So let's go back. You can see it's created all these categories for me. Now this is here because I set the home page to be the about page. Okay, so here you can see we have all our posts. There they all are. You can see they've got tags, they've got the categories, and so on. So with the click of a button, I've created lots and lots of posts for me. Now, using my all-in-one AdSense plugin, where's it gone? This AdSense one, I can add AdSense ads to them. I can use my Contera plugin, and that will add other links in there. Well, I can use one or the other. I can use SEO Smart Links, and of course, you know, it's going to create me a really, really good site. And then if I use the Twitter commentator, then obviously that is going to create additional comments, and what those comments will do is make it look like it's a real site. So, you know, this is an absolutely fantastic post, and I can repeat this as many times as I want for all the different categories. So I can do this for articles, and it will pull articles. I could do it for YouTube, and it will do that. And you can obviously upload text files to PLR articles and stuff like that. So it's a fantastic tool, and I'll just repeat this for different keywords from, say, Yahoo Answers, and I can also put in different languages if that's what I wanted to do. But you can see how easy and quick this is to work. It takes you 5 minutes, you know, in fact 2 minutes, and there you are. I've got 100 posts. You know, you can set these to whatever you want. You know, you can really mess around with this and get a lot from it. So it's a very, very powerful plugin, and one that I really do think you're going to get a lot from if you decide to invest in it and use it. I want to show you the Tweogle Twitter commentator next. Now this is a good plugin because what it does, it pulls in comments from Twitter to your own blog posts. So it looks at every tag in your post and tries to pull tweets from Twitter based from your tags and post that tweet as a comment. So it's kind of useful in that it's going to get comments onto your blog post, and that means that your blog posts look much more like they are genuinely being visited and used by people. So it's quite a useful tool. There are many other plugins like this, and this is just one that I've chosen to show you. Now, you've probably heard of Twitter, and Twitter's a fantastic tool, and you can integrate it with WordPress in a number of different ways. It's up to you to decide exactly how you want to do it. This is just one method. Now, if you've set your Twitter account to build on autopilot using one of the many services out there to build followers, then you will have a lot of followers, and you can use many of the other plugins. Now, let me just show you some of the other plugins that are available for Twitter. You can have plugins that will go both ways. So Twitter Tools is a good one. It integrates your WordPress and your Twitter account so that what you Twitter gets posted to your WordPress blog and vice versa. Here's another one as well, Twitter for WordPress. That displays your latest tweets and so on. So if you're using Twitter a lot in the niche that you're creating the website, you could use some of these plugins so that it's fresh content on your website. Yeah, there's lots of different ones. So this one here looks quite useful. It handles Twitter feeds. So that's kind of could be very useful. It's got a very good rating as well. So there you are. You can see there's quite a few useful Twitter posts there that you could use. Which one you choose to use is entirely up to you and how you want to manage that integration. As I said, if you've set your Twitter account in that niche to run on autopilot, to have friends added and everything like that, then integrating it with your WordPress blog is a very, very good idea. Remember, the search engines like to see fresh content, and if your tweets are being displayed on your WordPress blog, then obviously that's fresh new content being regularly added. If the whole thing's running together on autopilot, then it works very nicely for you. It's a good way to automate traffic can flow between the two, so Twitter people can come to your WordPress blog and WordPress people can come to your Twitter account. So it's very, very good. But we're going to just install this one because I like the fact that it takes Twitter comments. Oh, wrong button. It takes Twitter comments and puts them into your own blog post. So there you are. You can see some of it about what it does here. So one thing it does do, and this is true, is people don't like being the first to comment on a blog. So it can be very, very good to encourage people to start commenting. And if you look at a lot of blogs, they don't have any comments at all. So this can get you over that and get it so that it's starting to, starting to get comments, and it just encourages that interaction. So down here under settings we have our Tweogle Twitter commentator. So how many per post? Again, randomize this. Don't always make it the same. So this time we're going to make it 11. Yes, we want to have tweets as no follow. We don't want that. And again, let's take these off, make it look like a real comment. So there you are. You can, just having a look through that, we can update our options. So we update our options and save these changes. And then what it will do is it will generate 2 comments per day automatically. So what it's doing is, it's giving that organic look. It's making it look like people are naturally commenting on your site. If your site suddenly had 11 comments appear in a day, then that's a bit suspicious, and the search engines are going to go, there's something fishy about that. But having a couple a day, that looks very, very, very natural. So, you can speed it up a little if you want to by clicking this button, but remember, these are auto blogs we're creating, and the whole point is that they run on autopilot, so 2 comments per day is just fine. That's all that we need to do. So basically that's it. This will add comments to your posts to make it look like people are commenting there, so it's going to look much more like a natural blog. It's going to be fresh content for the search engines. The search engines will come to your site, see that people have commented, and that's obviously going to be good for them because they're not stupid and they understand that that means that there's people coming there. Using this option will make sure it's going to look more like a real comment. So all in all, this is going to help you significantly, I believe, with your Autoblog. So basically, do remember to put the tags into your post. You've got to use tags. If they're unfamiliar words, you may not get comments, but by using commonly used tags, then it will pull in tweets for you. So very, very powerful, very effective, and it's really going to help your site look more like a genuine blog and less like an auto blog. Now, the next plugin, I want to show you something called Contera WordPress plugin. You can see here there's two versions. This is for different versions of WordPress. So check your version of WordPress and install the right one. What this does is it provides Contera adverts. So it's Contera in-text ads to your posts. So some sites may not be, you may not be able to use AdSense due to either the content of the site or maybe your location, or you may find that you're not happy with AdSense performance. So Contera is another good method of monetizing your auto blog, and again you can automatically add the posts to all of your add the ads to all of your posts automatic. So it's very, very good like that. Under settings and Contera settings, you can see here we can set it. So you've got to put your publisher ID in, and you can see here you can select your links color, and so on. So it's very simple to set up. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this one for hours and hours. So you can pick categories and block ads and so on. So it's very, very useful. So let me just show you Contera's page for a minute. So you can see again what they do is they add these links. You can see up here they add links in like that. So again, this could be very, very useful to use with, instead of perhaps the next plugin, the SEO Smart Links. You could use SEO Smart Links to link internal and use this to link to external sites. But you can see here from this demonstration, it's showing you the sort of links that you get. So I mean, they look pretty good, don't they? So, you know, it's a very obvious link, and then of course it's a link through and an affiliate link. So people here are paying pay-per-click. So what they do is they see you, you know, your advert appears on their page. So their advert appears on your page, and when someone clicks on it, you get paid. It's kind of like AdSense, except for instead of specific blocks of text, it comes up as links, and you can set it here to different colors and so on, so that it stands out. So where do you want them? Do you want them on posts or comments? You just stick them on the posts, you know, pretty much most of the time. So you can also say, well, I don't want them to appear straight away. It's up to you. It's up to you how you decide to do it. But it's very powerful. You can see from some of the publishers down here that have been going through, they've got some big name people using this. So it's very, very effective. Now, a lot of people are getting, shall we say, frustrated with the cost of advertising with AdWords. I mean, let's face it, it's not exactly cheap. So people are starting to look at networks like Contera, particularly big companies like Ford, Microsoft, Kellogg's, GM, US News. Yeah, these are big companies, and they're looking at sites like Contera because they provide better value for money. Basically, yes, you may not get as many clicks, but you still get good targeted clicks, and you get good, you know, a good cost. So this is beneficial to you, because if you find that, well, my AdSense aren't converting, try putting in some Contera ads. Take the AdSense out, put Contera in, and see how that works. It's slightly more subtle, and you can often find, because they're in text, you get quite a good click-through rate. So the plugin name again is Contera. If we go down here, it's called Contera. Install it and use it as well. You can't use it with AdSense, because it is contextual advertising and AdSense get upset, so use one or the other. But I would test the two, because you may find that one does better than the other. So it's another option and another way for you to monetize your website and create money from your Autoblog. The next plugin to show you is SEO Smart Links plugin. This is a very, very useful plugin, because what it does is it's going to help you to automatically create links from within your text. So here you can see, here it is, and let's just install it and to show you exactly what it does. So basically here, let's just read a little bit of this. It automatically links keywords and phrases in your posts and comments with other pages. So it does cross-linking within your site. Now, you don't normally see this sort of thing within Autoblogs, and furthermore, it helps you significantly with SEO. You also, this is again important, is it allows you to set up your own keywords and set a matching URL. So what I can do is I can set up certain keywords to link to external sites, i.e. Amazon, ClickBank, Commission Junction, other affiliate sites, CPA offers, or even my own network of sites. So I can use the Autoblogs to promote my sites. So if we install it now, and let's activate it, and you can see it's not difficult to do. And then here we have under settings SEO Smart Links. So let's have a quick look at this. You don't want it to link to itself. I mean, you might do. Some people say you should, but not for me. Don't link the headers. Target, again, that's right. Don't target categories and tags. So again, this is another choice. You can put it in your RSS feed. So if you've submitted your RSS feeds, then it'll appear there. And you can ignore certain pages. So if you've got a contact, a privacy policy, etc., etc., then you would ignore these pages. There may be certain keywords as well that you don't want to link. And then finally, down here, what you do is you can see here you put your keywords in and then the URL. So it'll be keyword, comma, keyword, comma, URL. And what that will do is any of these keywords will link to that URL. So you can see how many do you want in the post. 3 links in the post is a good number. Go more than that and it looks like there's too many links. Go less than that and you're not really getting any benefit. Also, I would strongly recommend you leave this as 1. You don't want too many links with the same keyword. You want you want all the links to be different keywords. Otherwise, you're going to find in your post you're going to have 3 links all with the same keyword. So this variation also does well. Now down here, I would strongly recommend you select both of those. Bottom one basically means that when people click on the link, they're not leaving your site. If you don't have this selected, they click on it, they've gone from your site, you've lost that visitor and you may never see them again. This one here, obviously that means that any link love isn't passed through and the search engines technically won't follow through to index that page. So it just means that you're not generating external links as far as the search engines are concerned. Now it's not difficult to use this plugin. You can see that's all you do. We've done it there. We click update options and off we go. So again, you can select that and that might be useful too. But you can see it's not difficult, very easy, and it's going to help you a lot with your internal SEO. So it's going to help you with cross navigation between your pages. That's going to impress the search engines. It's going to make it look less like an Autoblog. It's going to give you a boost up the search engines. It's also going to allow you to link to external pages so that you can monetize particular keywords. So for example, if your site is about photography, you may down here enter various keywords relating to certain cameras and links to Amazon URLs. You may enter other photography type keywords linking to, I don't know, ClickBank books on photography and so on. So you can click through there and it just gives you another opportunity to monetize your blog. So I do strongly recommend this one for you. It's a free to use plugin and it's called SEO Smart Links. Let me finish off now by giving you some tips for helping you to succeed with an autoblog. Now, an autoblog is something that can make you a lot of money online. You can create an awful lot of them and through that generate a really nice passive income. So in order to succeed, the first thing is you've got to pick the right keywords. You've got to find keywords that you can rank for relatively easily and get yourself up in the search engines for without too much work. You don't want to create an auto blog based around keywords like weight loss, for example, that are highly competitive. You want really narrow, targeted websites so that you can get lots and lots of people through to your site. So that's the aim of the game here with an auto blog, is to basically get yourself ranking really, really well. You've got to pick the right keywords. You've got to focus on those keywords throughout your content and through your whole SEO. The perfect ones are ones that are low competition but high traffic. So you're going to have to do your keyword research and expect to spend some time on it. Don't expect it to magically sort of happen and you to find keywords that sort of pop up out of thin air. You need to do some work and find those keywords, and doing that research up front will make sure that you earn an awful lot more money from your sites because they're going to rank quicker. But basically, auto blogs are a numbers game. The more sites you have, the more you earn. Don't expect an auto blog to make, a single auto blog to make you rich. It's highly unlikely. But if you've got 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 of these sites, then they're likely to make you extremely rich. So you do need to think about that. It is a numbers game. Don't create one or two sites then go, oh, I'm not making millions of dollars. Don't expect to. A couple of sites you can expect, $5, $10 a week maybe. But yeah, as I said, once you've got 100 sites up, then you can sit there and go, I'm earning nicely now. So, the more sites you have, the more you're going to earn. But you've got to get the balance between scraped and unique content, and you do need to vary this across your sites. Remember, we said earlier on that you want to avoid leaving footprints. So, if you always have your home page is unique, and then this page is that, and then that page is the other, then that's going to give it away. So, always balance the scraped and unique content so that you have a bit of both. Basically, you want some unique and some scraped, some PLR, that sort of thing, but get the balance right. But I would recommend that you don't make auto blogs your only online sites. Certainly have them as a stream of income, but just in case something happens to them or Google decides to change its mind about sites, have other streams of income. You do not want to run the risk of having your business wiped out because of one of the whims of Google. So you've got to balance auto blogs with genuine blogs and other information sites, products for sale, shopping carts, membership sites, etc, etc, etc. So you've got to get the balance between them all right, and if you can do that, then you're going to do very, very well. Auto blogs will provide you with an excellent additional stream of income and balance it with your other internet marketing activities, and you can generate a lot of money and do very, very well. So one thing to always do with your auto blogs is to try and add value. Thinking about adding value will help to make sure that your blogs survive longer. It will help to make sure that they do better and they get more traffic. Created well, you can get incoming links from other sites. I've created auto blogs, and because I've thought about what are people looking for, I'm having incoming links from people all over the place who are referring to the site because it's got valuable information on and could be considered an authority site. So always think about that. Focus on the needs of your reader. Think about what is your website visitor looking for when they come to that site. Are they looking to buy? Are they looking for information? And that's going to help you also to determine what sort of adverts you place. Are you going to place, I don't know, ClickBank adverts where they're buying the product, or are you going to give them information and AdSense adverts so that they can click on the links to get more information? But you want to make each site unique. I know it's tempting to just use one template and fling them out there really, really quickly, but spend some time making each site unique, and again, it's going to step you away from possible spam sites and make sure that your auto blogging network lives an awful lot longer. If a site does well, then look at manually adding additional content. So if you've got a site and it's doing really well, it's getting a lot of traffic, you might want to add more content. You might want to get some unique content written and added to it. You may want to create additional sites in that niche based on other keywords. So think about all of that when you're creating your auto blogs. There's a lot of potential there. You may create other sites. I may have my auto blog and then realize, well, actually I want to create a membership site, a product site. I may want to create a couple more authority sites. I may want to target other keywords and really sort of give it a good boost. But if a site gets blacklisted, which may or may not happen, don't get emotionally entangled in it. Just go, oh well, and move on. There's pretty much nothing you can do about it. You can try appealing, but you're going to get caught up in the long process. So if it gets blacklisted, don't renew your domain name. Just move on and get on with other sites. Just consider it a sort of a casualty of business, if you like. It may well happen. I'm not saying it will, but if it does, then obviously you need to just move on and not get tangled up with it. And remember, with all these auto blogs, you're looking at a rapid turnaround. You're looking at creating sites very quickly and getting them out there. You don't want to spend 3 or 4 days creating a site. An hour tops. If you're looking at a network of 1,000 sites, if you spend an hour per site, that's 1,000 hours. So you need to, when you're doing this, always think about automation. How can you do things quicker and better and faster with less work? And the more you can think about that, then obviously the quicker you can create the sites. As I said, if it takes you 2 hours to create a site, it's going to take you a long time to create 1,000 sites. If it takes you 15 minutes, it's going to take you an awful lot less time. So you've always got to think about how can you do them faster and better. So when you're working on your auto blogs and you see something, you think, well, I could probably do this better. Do it better and see if it speeds things up. So remember, it's a numbers game. It's about creating the sites rapidly and getting them up there. But your auto blogs are can be very, very valuable to you. I'd strongly recommend that you use them and that you enjoy them, because there's a lot of potential with an auto blog. You can create many of these sites. You can create a great additional stream of income, and of course the sites don't need any manual intervention whatsoever, which means that you can run them on autopilot and just concentrate on building more sites and generating other parts of your business. When you've got 500, 1,000 or so of these, you could be earning a significant amount of money, and it's all on autopilot with no input from yourself. So always sit and think about that when you're creating these. These sites are very powerful. They run with no manual intervention, they auto-populate, and they generate you an income pretty much on autopilot. So now you know everything you need to know about auto blogging. It's time for you to start it. Remember, when you're creating these sites, look at how you can do it better, and if you find a way, then do it better. By all means, please. There are better ways of doing some of this. There are faster ways, and I'm sure you're going to find them. So now you have the tools. It's time for you to go out, start creating your auto blogs, see how many can you get done in the next week, and see how quickly they will rank for you and how quickly they will earn for you.